Hello. Welcome everybody. Sorry, I'm trying to get my my sound wasn't working properly. I had some stuff going on and Jasmine is a little freaked out back here. Hey. It's thundering again. I feel like I'm like caught in a cycle of just perpetual rain. It's not bad. Hello, Alethea. And how are you, lovely lady? So, I was talking to some people earlier today. I know y'all are shocked. Me talking to people. But I keep doing this. I keep changing around like what I'm talking about. But I liked this idea because we have this new moon in Leo. We're actually in it right now, but it hits its peak tomorrow morning at 5:38 a.m. And by the way, yes, I know the videos have not loaded yet onto YouTube for readings at the round table, but I have all but 5 edited. Yeah, I'm on it. So I have all but 5 of them edited, and they will be posted. They should start posting again as soon as I'm done here, because I had to stop them because I need the bandwidth to go live. You know, I'm fun. So in order for me to go live, I had to stop them from posting on YouTube. So they will be posting shortly, I promise. And hello, Joy. How are you tonight? Look at these happy people. I'm loving this. All right. So there's several things I want to talk about. Someone that I know that is very intuitive and a gifted reader herself she was just like, I'm having a hard time looking at this situation, looking at the situation I'm in, and not arguing with my intuition, not arguing with myself. And I can't get myself aligned with how I want the outcome to, like what kind of outcome I want, how I want things to happen. And she was like, I just don't know. She was like, I've been looking at my pendulum and I don't know if, she's like, I don't feel like my pendulum is telling me the truth because I don't know how much of that is spirit or how much of that is me. I get that. So I want to talk a little bit about trusting some of our tools, trusting our intuition, not second guessing ourselves. And you know what? Oh my gosh, y'all know me. I second guess myself all the time. I argue with myself. I argue with my guides. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like every time I open the door to my office that a fly or a mosquito or something comes in here, because the past week when I've been recording videos or when I've been doing anything, there's aerial like dynamic bugs coming in the camera. Really? I mean, why would you want to do that? Like some sort of kamikaze fly or mosquito is like in here. Yeah. What's wrong, Jasmine? Yeah. So I'm sorry, but Jasmine is a little antsy because I hear the thunder, but I don't see any evidence of it yet, Jazz. Yeah. I know it. I'm sure the dogs in the house are like hiding under the bed or something. Yeah, it's good times. All right. So how many of you have problems with trusting your intuition or trusting what you see in your cards or in your pendulum or whatever? I do have a hard time with that. I have a real hard time with it. And this is why I don't read for myself. This is exactly why I do not read for myself. So if that helps you at all, and can you guys hear me okay? I'm not seeing my I'm not seeing the volume up very high, but oh well. So what I did years ago, I just want to tell you guys what I did years ago is I drew out a chart for my guides. Okay. I drew out a percentage chart because I I got tired of like looking at the cards or looking at guides and then saying, yeah, this could happen. Yeah, this could happen. No, that could probably not happen. And I was like, what does that mean? Probably. Like, what does that mean? Maybe. Like, I need to know. So I asked my guides to give me a percent, to give me a percent of whether or not this could happen and what it looked like. Now, I did this years ago when I was pregnant with, I think it was my second son. I think it was thing 2. But I was definitely pregnant. I remember just like, having to lean back against the table to do the pendulum. But I got them to start working with me on percentages. So if any of you have read with me in the last 7 or 8 years, you will know that I don't say yes or no, right? I haven't done that in years. I give you a percentage. I'm like, yeah, this is a pretty good, this is a pretty good choice. It's like a 61% chance that this is good. There's a different percent chance that this could happen or this could happen. The reason why is because people change their minds so much quicker than they used to. I think I touched on this a little bit last week, but with these smartphones that we all have and love, right? Love, it's a strong word. But I remember the days of the rotary phone attached to the wall in my kitchen, right? In my parents' kitchen. But that being said, when we look at that, when we like look and say, okay, tell me what the percentage is, these phones changed that immensely. Like now I could make a decision about something like I did earlier today. I was like, I'm definitely going to do that. And then I was looking something up and I went, I'm not going to do that. My path changed in a matter of hours. Our decisions that we make can change in a matter of minutes. Our opinions can change in a matter of minutes, all because of something that we read on one of these. So the way that I used to read for people, the way that I read for people for years in the late 90s, in the early 2000s, I would say up until about 2000. I mean, I started seeing changes in like 2011 is when I started seeing the changes. And that's when we were really, really hard using these smartphones, right? I started seeing changes then, but I didn't make a change in the way that I read for people until about 2015, 2016. And that's when I started using percentages. So I drew up a scale for my guides, 0 to 100%, and I put in all the lines, like as many lines as I could. I drew up a very detailed scale. I drew I changed it every 5%, like all the way down. I drew that up and showed it to my guides, and I was like, this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to tell me. I started that because I took a pendulum class from a really wonderful man that is no longer with us. And I had been using my pendulum for years because I went to a dowsing club and stuff in Denver with a friend of mine. And she showed me how to use my pendulum. She showed me how to pick one out. It was just really awesome. It was really cool. So I had been using a pendulum for years prior to this, but I took a pendulum class because I thought it would be fun, and I wanted to go to one of his classes. So I went to this class, And he showed me this awesome chart. And he was like, this is the chart that I use for doing readings with a pendulum. And it was a semicircle chart. And you can buy these books on Amazon, by the way, these pendulum charts. And it was a semicircle, and it had all of these like little ticks in it, like numbers, percentages. The next page had like yes, no, maybe. And that's another thing I wanted to show you guys. Can you see the, yeah, you can see this. So I found this at a store, and then I found some people that make them online. So hopefully pretty soon I will be selling these on my website. It may take me a couple of months to get them. I'm waiting for them to come back in stock. But I have placed an order. It's something similar to this. It's not the exact one. But this is a really cool thing to use with a pendulum, because you sit it down and just like do your thing. I'm going to see if I can get my second camera on. Oh, it's locked in another application. Okay, hang on. Hang on. La, 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 la. How do I get that off? Let's see if I can shut it down this way. Hang on. Okay, because I want to show you guys how to use this pendulum. Oh, come on. Really? Camera not available? There it goes. Yeehaw. How about that? I think I can do better than that. Okay, so using this little disc circle thing that you see the yes, yes, maybe, maybe, rephrase, no, no, right? So this is how I use my pendulum. I know, isn't this a great idea, Alethea? It's awesome. So I hold my pendulum over the center, and I try to hold it very steady, you know. And then I let go, and I usually close my eyes. I'm not going to right now, but I try to anchor my elbows so that it doesn't move. I also don't talk, because I move a lot when I talk. Even if any of you, if I'm ever doing a reading for you, if I'm just on the phone with you, the reason why I have AirPods and have a headset is because even though you're not in the room with me, and even though you're not in a video call with me, I'm like moving my arms, I'm like waving around. I move a lot when I talk. So I try to sit very still, and I don't talk, and I just ask the question. Sometimes I'll ask the question out loud before I like walk away. And sometimes I just ask it in my head. Okay, so I don't think you can see that properly. You still can't. I'm so sorry. It's the way that it's waving is it's waving to maybe. It's like that's the way. Okay. So the way that it was waving to maybe. Okay, now do you see that? I'm getting a distinct no. Yeah. Okay, so do you see how it doesn't move a ton? And I've got it a little off center so that you guys can see like where you can see how the pendulum is moving. But it's definitely, it definitely picks up momentum on its own. However, it can also pick up momentum from you talking or moving your arms or whatever, or just, breathing. Yeah. What I really, I'll tell you what I really do love is the dowsing rods. Now, a friend of mine, Glenda Peck, made these amazing dowsing rods from copper, and they're wonderful. And I love using those. I love using those. My dad surprised the crap out of me one day. Came over to my house because we were looking for like things underground around my house before we started digging, before we started like tearing up the yard, wanting to make sure there wasn't like pipes or like buried lines or anything. And he goes, "Oh, I have something that can detect them." And I was like, great. I mean, he worked for the telephone company for like a million years, so I figured he knew what he was talking about. So he comes over with dowsing rods, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, why do you have dowsing rods?" I said, "If I didn't know you needed dowsing rods, you could have just used mine." And we're both looking at each other going, "Why do you have dowsing rods?" I like the dowsing rods the best, and I don't have any here with me right now because they're up in my house because that's where I was using them last. But I may bring them on the show sometime. They're incredible. You hold them and they move. You're not swinging them. You're just like standing still and they move independently. It's fascinating. And even my dad, who is not a metaphysical dude in any way, shape, or form, he uses them. It's a real thing. It is. Hey Robin, how are you? It's real, and it's just, they're incredible. So if you ever come across somebody who is making copper dowsing rods, I highly recommend them. And if Glenda Peck is in the chat, if you're still making dowsing rods, let me know. We may have some clients for you, just saying. But I prefer using something, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a Virgo and I'm very analytical. I like something that's going to give me like that sort of cut and dry answer, like the little disc here. Giving me that answer. The rest of the stuff that's on this disc is strictly, it's just decoration. It is. And the other side, I really like this because it gives you a black and a white side. And I love it. I love it. I actually reviewed this just recently for readings at the round table. I love this thing. It's really cool. So hopefully in the next couple of months, I will actually be able to stock these now that I've found people that make them. And as soon as they finish making them, I should have them in stock on my website. So very excited about that. And yeah, that would be awesome, Alethea. As soon as I get some, as soon as I bring them down here, I'll do it. I'll at least bring them on next week. Veronica, yes, Veronica says she has a set. Yes, they're really incredible. They are. Which is something that I wanted to tell you guys. I did find when we were talking about sigils. I know it's been very interesting. I found my sigil cards that I got from a friend of mine who is also passed, who's transitioned. So This is from a deck of cards that he used to give out to people. When he would do readings, he would let people choose cards, and he would be like, just choose a card and take it with you. So this was one that I got, and I taped them up. You can see the tape down here at the bottom. I taped them up so I can see them all the time. So I can see this. And the meaning is light body. Your light body allows you to travel interdimensionally. This glyph creates the vehicle for you. That's definitely, this is a symbol. This one is resurrection. Resurrection. And this came at the best time in my life. Oh goodness, it won't focus. Resurrection. You have the ability to recreate life at all levels through your thought, breath, and intent. So you can see why I keep these taped up on my wall. Not very knowledgeable about them or their use. Oh my gosh, I could do a whole class on pendulums and the dowsing rods. And I may actually do that. Be fun. Yeah. So I will tell you what I do now, because I argue so much with myself about my intuition. I argue so much with my guides, and I know my guides are sick of hearing it. I know they are, and that's okay. But now what I do is I say, if this is real, if what I see in these cards on this pendulum, or even something else that I'm about to show to you guys, the Astro dice, even that, if this is real, if this is what I see and it's real, please send me a sign. Please send me an indicator. Send me something that I will understand and that I will be able to see. So this again came at a time in my life when I really needed it, because I wasn't sure I was making the right decision. How many of you have ever been in that place where you're just like, I don't know, am I doing the right thing? Oh my gosh, this feels so, like, it feels like I'm hurting that person, but I'm not meaning to. I'm trying to do this for me. I'm trying to move in the right direction. Like, it feels like this, or I've been really hurt and I feel like I'm doing something wrong. How many of you have been in that position when you're just like, I don't know which way to go, and you're second guessing yourself? So this is what I got the last time that I was second guessing myself, of going, am I doing the right thing? And this wasn't even from my card deck. This isn't from my card deck. I don't know where this came from. This was on my windshield when I came out of Target. It was on my windshield. I don't own this deck. I don't know where the hell this came from. I think it's lovely and I would like to know. But on the back, it says it's like a today's lesson. God, I'm sorry about the camera. Sorry, guys. Today's lesson. Note one reason why you give away your power in your everyday life, and then ask yourself if that situation is worth losing your peace and of mind over. Your goal is to reclaim your power in a positive and mindful way. And you can tell this has been a little weathered, because I think it was like misting that day. I think it wasn't like full out raining, but the card got a little wet. So I walk out of Target, and I wasn't even at my like local Target. I was at a different Target like across town. I was in a weird place. And I had just been asking my guides that morning, have I made the right decision? Did I do the right thing? Am I making a mistake? What am I doing? And this was the answer that I got. And it was definitely in such a way that it told me I was making the right decision. We get answers. We do. But you have to surrender. You have to let go and just say, I feel like this is the right thing to do. I'm not sure. Help me out here. Show me, give me an indication that I'm going in the right direction. And just say, and if you don't give me an indication by tomorrow, or if you don't send me some kind of message, I'll pull back and go in a different direction. You know, if you're unsure. And the thing is to make sure that you're talking to your spirit guides, that you're talking to your creator. However, whatever it is that you do, whether you pray, you meditate, whatever it is that you do, sit back and say, I'm not second guessing you. I am second guessing me. I am not second guessing you and your guidance. I'm second guessing my interpretation of your guidance. That's a huge thing. That's a huge thing. They know your heart. They do. But it's important for you to say it. It's important for you to say it. So again, when I pull cards for myself, and you know, I mean, every day, I just like, I'll look around, I'll find a deck that maybe I haven't used in a minute. I'll be like, I'm just going to pull a card. I'm just going to pull a card and see what happens. Yeah. Hey, Diane. Yeah, I hope it is. I hope it is. Good grief. You know, really? Can I make a mess on live? On YouTube and Facebook? Oh. All right. So here's, you know, some of my favorite cards. John Holland's Psychic Tarot. And I'll shuffle them up. I'll shuffle them real good. And I'll be like, okay, let's see what we got. Let's see what we're doing. And then I'll ask my question. And I'll be like, give me as specific as I can get. You know, and you know me. Sometimes I got to pull more than one card. Even though I say I'm just going to pull one card, right? I'm just going to pull one card. Just going to do one, right? Let's just clear this deck just for fun. So then I sit there and I think about it. And then I just go, oh, hello. It's number 2, movement, choices, and decisions. Now, what does that mean? And so then I start looking into it, and then I start reading into it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have to choose between like happiness and growth in my family or money? Or do I have to choose between my marriage and like my spiritual health? No, that's not the choice. That's not what this is about. It's about balance. It's about balance between those things. You see how I can get crazy with it? So yeah, we do, like, it's hard when we try to read for ourselves. Question my interpretation of the action. Love it. Yes, you question your interpretation of the action. So then, you know, again, I'll pull a second card. Awareness. Holy crap. You think? Yeah, awareness. Is this something I'm looking for? Is it something I want? Am I reinventing myself here? What's going on, right? So those are the kinds of things that I do. I'll pull a card for myself once a day, and I'll be like, okay, at some point during the day, can you guys please explain this to me? Maybe even in my dreams, can you guys please explain this to me in a way that I will understand it, in a way that I will be able to, like Alethea says, interpret it. Yeah. Now, what we want to do to align ourselves with like what we're trying to manifest or what we're trying to do. And I got to be honest with you, this is the hardest thing for me. This is the hardest thing for me because it requires us to let go. It requires us to stop trying to fit that square peg in that round hole. Does anybody remember that show, Square Pegs? No, just me? Oh my gosh, I'm really just showing my age, right? This is going to drive me crazy if I don't clean this up. Really? I mean, all I keep doing is just thinking about the fact that I spilled my orange water over here. And then it could possibly be staining my awesome desk. Yeah. It's hard to read for yourself. I let myself stop using my deck for 2 or more weeks because it began getting confusing as a result of my stress. Yes. But the one thing that stayed consistent is when I did pull the cards was my concern for my future. Okay, exactly. If you're under a certain amount of stress and you're pulling cards and you're like, that's not what I want to hear. That's not what I want to hear. I don't understand. It's not making any sense to me. Yeah, it's not going to get any easier. It's not. So that's why we all go to people like me, to a reader. That's why we all go to each other. I mean, there's people in the chat that I've gone to for readings, and I've been like, I can't read this for myself. I don't know anymore. Like, I feel like I'm going snowblind looking at these cards because I just can't do it anymore. What is going on with this thing? Why is it still leaking? It's leaking everywhere. Did I break it? Yeah. Okay. So the hardest thing for me to do is to let go and say, okay, if I want this thing, then I'm going to align myself with how, like, that I want this done. I'm going to align myself with the finished product. I'm not going to align myself with how the hell it comes in, or to align myself with like how it works out, because that is not my problem. No, it's not. If you want something, if you're looking for a new job, if you're looking for somebody to pay you, if you're looking for, I don't know, however you're looking for things, however you're trying to assess things, whatever it is that you're trying to align yourself with, a relationship, a new job. Let's go with a new job because we got a new moon. It's in Leo. Let's go with that. All right. So we're trying to align ourselves with a new job. You picture yourself in whatever capacity it is. What kind of job are you looking for? Are you looking for something in administration? Are you looking for something where you sit in a chair, where you're standing up, where you're moving around? Are you talking to people? Or are you working sort of solo? Are you working from home in your pajamas? With your animals around you? Are you working on a hobby and making money from it? What are you doing? To align yourself with that, you have to immerse yourself in it, right? You have to get deep into that fantasy and start doing that job, sitting in that chair, staring at that camera. You have to put yourself into that hobby. You have to immerse yourself into it and see yourself getting paid adequately, or more than adequately, than for what you need, for what your needs are. You have to immerse yourself in that. Then that's where you stay. You don't try to put the pieces together to get you there. What you do is you then start following your lead, right? That's when Spirit says, hey, you need to go to that Target that's way out of the way. You need to go there. I'm like, the hell do I need to go all the way over there for? That sounds crazy. That sounds like nuts. No, you need to go there. Okay, I'll go there. Whatever. And then you get your message. Then you get the next ticket on the ride that you need to get on to get you to the next ticket, to the next ride that's going to lead you to where you need to be. That's how you align yourself. And that is so hard for me because Alethea's already put it in the chat. Virgo, yep, Virgo controlling. I couldn't even leave a spilled orange water on my desk over here. Okay, frankly, because I love this desk and a friend of mine gave it to me for free, and I don't want it stained because it's lovely. And I love it, and I love her for giving it to me. So, you know, I couldn't stand it. Something spilled back there. Now, the rest of my office looks like it looks like a nightmare. But all I can think about is that spilled water. So, and yes, Mercury is going into retrograde on the 23rd. We are officially in the shadow of Mercury retrograde. Merry Christmas. Yes, Uranus is going retrograde, Mercury is going retrograde, Venus is retrograde, Pluto is retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, and Neptune is retrograde. Yeah. The next item up for bid is Jupiter, and he goes retrograde in September. Who's excited about that? Look, I'm just looking for Venus to go direct so that I can get my roots done, because I'm so superstitious and I won't go get my hair done while Venus is retrograde. It's okay. I'm probably going to go before Venus goes direct in September, but I'm not making any major changes. I'm just doing some, regular maintenance. So that should be safe enough, but I've been waiting. I am very superstitious. So you do have to love you got to do what you got to do. I love that. Do what you got to do. You're so much fun, Alethea. I just love you. So this is where I love what Diane said. Diane is in YouTube for those of you in Facebook. She says that like her card readings for herself began getting very confusing because she was stressed and she just like couldn't make it work. And I get that. I do. I get that 100%, which is again why when I'm trying to align with what I want, I also say, please don't let me miss the next thing. Please don't let me miss something. I'm going to argue with you about it. And my guides know me well enough to know that I am going to argue with them and be like, why am I doing that? That's crazy. Is it though? So, the thing that I do is I'm like, just tell me, make sure that I understand this is what I need to do. This is what I need to do. So here's another thing for all of us that second guess ourselves. Here's another thing that I've discovered. And you're going to see this on the Reviewed at the Round Table shortly. Astro dice. Astrology in the palm of your hand. Now, I really like this because do you see these? They're all a little bit different here. So we've got the zodiac signs in the green. We've got the planets in the purple, and we have the number of the house on the astrology chart right here. Okay. So I wanted to make sure that I do have this pulled up somewhere. Hang on. And I just want to tell you guys, last week, because I save all of these like these crazy people that are that there we go. I save all these crazy like comments and stuff because I'm a nut. Yeah, I no problem saying that. But I saved that guy that like came up and was like Bozo the clown or whatever his name was, that was making comments on YouTube. So I always screenshot their comments before I block them. I know. But the funny thing is that when I do a live show anymore, for like the past year, I don't put in hashtags for my live show. I don't put in hashtags for the live show. So these are people that actually know me that come on and make these comments. Isn't that a kicker? I love it. Kind of fun. All right. So what you do is with these, and I'm going to use Diane as a guinea pig here. So for Diane, I kind of know some of what she's dealing with. Okay. So for example, Diane's is Neptune, Libra, and the third house. Okay, so what we do is we look at the meaning for Neptune, which is intuition, mysticism, dreams, imagination, psychic receptivity, inspiration, spirituality, idealism, memories, music, vulnerability, and it governs the immune system, by the way. The shadow sides are delusion, confusion, guilt, addictions. Yeah, that's it. So we're going to couple that with Libra. All right. We're coupling that with Libra. And Libra is charming, peaceful, diplomatic, easygoing, harmonious, relationship-oriented, artistic, intelligent, beautiful, friendly. Can also be indecisive, superficial, gullible, passive-aggressive, and like have frenemies. It's a good way to put it. Okay, and in the third house, the third house rules siblings, peers, short distance travel, school or early education. It rules the mind and thinking, communication, social activities, media, and neighbors. Now, so when I look at that for her, I would say that she really needs to focus on her intuition, her gut instinct about, and look at, and I'm cheating a little bit because I do know this about her. Look at some sort of education or some sort of way of educating someone in a very artistic way, but an intelligent way. And that's going to be like where she needs to place herself. That's where she needs to be and put herself into. So again, Neptune, Libra, and in the third house. So you sort of bring all of these together. Now, I will say, I have some, I don't want to say disagreements, but I think the third house also represents like the goddess within all of us. It represents certain neighborhoods. I also feel like Libra represents balance. I feel like Libra represents a lot of balance because when a Libra is out of balance, it messes up their stomach in some sort of way. It messes up their digestion. So, and then I'm also looking at the number 3 as just a total communication and ups and downs with family, which is probably also contributing to some of her indecisiveness. So looking at it in a perspective of intuition, I would say that there's definitely some healing that she needs to do with her younger self, with her family, in order to move forward, in order to move past this, and using her intuition and not just looking at it and not looking at it with an imagination, like sort of separating herself from that emotional part, I guess is a good way to put it, is going to give her some answers. Where is it? There it is. I wanted to pull up Neptune again, because I'm not as like good with Neptune, because I just think Neptune is very dreamy, and Neptune is retrograde right now. So when Neptune is retrograde, the rose-colored glasses are pulled off. So again, because I'm reading this during Neptune retrograde, that may be something for her, that maybe she's had a harsh awakening. So when we're reading this for ourselves, if I was reading this just for myself, I would stick strictly to the script that came with the Astro Dice, because I can't elaborate on it for myself, but I can certainly do that for Diane. Do you guys see that? It's so much easier for me to do that for her because I'm not reading into it for her, but I would read into it for me. But I think reading this, even looking at this with just the script, would help me to look at some of the things that I'm dealing with. So, it's okay. I understand, Diane. You may not. Oh my gosh, I got the same exact thing again. Neptune 3 and Libra. Okay, is there something going on with those? That's hilarious though, isn't it? I mean, I'm definitely shaking them up. Okay. 12 Sagittarius and Pluto. Boy, that's interesting. Okay. Well, we know Pluto is transformation. Okay, rebirth, death, evolution, intensity, subconsciousness. That's kind of interesting. Sagittarius is truth seeking, adventure, optimism, expansion. Wow, that's interesting. Okay, let me see. I want to see the houses again. Okay, the 12th house is retreat, escape, hidden, release, unconscious. So we've got subconscious and unconscious. That's interesting. Solitude, healing, spirituality, karma. Very interesting. Very interesting. But this is just another tool. And if anything, I think that if I was trying to manifest at this time, if I was trying to make something happen for me, if I was trying to say, okay, I want to see if this is going to happen in my business or my relationship or with my kids, which I ask about my kids a lot. I think most mothers do. Then I try not to be vague. I try to be specific. And then I pull a card or roll dice or look at the pendulum and I say, can you help me see if I'm working in alignment? Can you help me see if I'm staying in alignment? Am I in alignment to get XYZ? Am I in alignment to receive this? Am I in alignment to watch this? experience this? And, you know, you should get a yes or no answer. Okay, so that's a good answer, right? Transformation, that's a total change. That makes sense for my life. But that's the thing, is that you ask those kinds of questions. Don't keep putting yourself, don't keep saying, well, if I want that, I have to do this. No. Has that been presented to you yet? So a friend of mine was like looking for stuff to do on her house. She went through a divorce a few years ago, and she was like, I really need to get this done to my house. Like, there's some things I need to work on, some things I have to like take care of. Well, accidentally, and she's a little bit of a manifester, she just doesn't acknowledge it. But she kept saying, oh, you know, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I've got to find someone that can help me do this. I've got to find someone that can help me like fix this. And in my house, in my basement, and one of her dogs accidentally turned on her outside faucet, you know, to the hose, but she had disconnected the hose, and the dog hit the faucet and turned it on. And she didn't realize it for about 10 hours. So it started a minor flood, which ran into her basement. So she kept saying, I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to get this done. And I was like, well, just ask for some direction, you know, start praying for direction. And she would be like, yeah, you know, I think that I need to start here, or I think I need to do this. And I was like, no, just step back, and the people that you need will come to you if you work through it like this. So her dog accidentally knocked her faucet, turned it on. So then she got this minor flood. So then she's looking, trying to find, because she's like, well, the water still shouldn't be coming in, but the water's still coming in. What's going on? So she and one of her friends and her son-in-law and one of her daughters were like looking all over the place, like trying to find this leak, right? Not only did they find the leak, but it wasn't even the hose that was leaking. It turned out it was her refrigerator that had been leaking for a long time from upstairs, and it was coming through her basement. And that was the thing that she needed to fix. And she knew there was something going on, but she didn't know it was the refrigerator. She didn't know it was this. She just knew there was an issue. And so she finally found it, but she let go. And that's when things started to happen. I mean, we all have animals. I mean, most of us. Some of us, we have two-legged animals, right? But that wasn't an accident. It wasn't an accident. And it helped her to get her, like, it helped her to find someone to help her fix the issue that she had in her home. Because she was just like, you know, I don't miss a lot about being married, but I miss this. Like, to be able to say, hey, there's something going on here. Can you go find out, or can you go fix it? Because I don't have time. I mean, she's a busy lady, you know. Letting go is, you're absolutely right, Joy. Letting go is very hard. It is very, very hard. Sun in Virgo, Capricorn rising. Want to talk about letting go? Oh, dude. And my house is full of earth signs. We got 3 Virgos and a Taurus. Nobody in that house want to let go. Because everybody in the house, including the 6-year-old who's about to turn 35 instead of 7, seems to know everything. And they're like, no, that's not the way I envision it. Well, you have to let go of that vision. You have to just focus on the end. You have to focus on the end point, the end result, and let it go. And that is wonderful, because my older son, thing one, loves to draw. He loves to draw. So he took this little art class that I found for him online. And that's basically what they told him, is they were like, you can look at a picture, you can look at something. You are not going to be able to draw it exactly the way that artist did. You're not going to be able to do it exactly the way that artist did because you don't know where they started or where they stopped. This is not a Bob Ross painting. You don't know exactly how they did it. However, you can recreate this in your own way, but you can't say, I'm going to start here and I'm going to finish here. You have to get in it. You have to get in it. And maybe you do have a happy accident and paint a happy tree or whatever. Maybe you do have like, maybe there is something that you bring in that way. So he's learning to let go a little bit and see that he's like, oh, I made a mistake, but yeah, I really like that. I like that. And I'm like, that's a happy accident. That's Bob Ross. So incorporate that in your picture. What do you think, Jasmine? Huh? I think the thunder stopped. I can't hear it anymore, but she's still like right up on me. And clearly it's not raining because Mouse isn't here. Y'all, he was so mad at me last week when I was recording because I had to put the flea and tick stuff, on him. And I wouldn't let him out for like a whole day, to let it dry. He was mad. So when y'all see the videos that I post that should finish posting after I'm done, for tomorrow, you'll see Mouse being pissed. It's quite lovely. Oh, I'm such a horrible animal mom. I mean, these animals get so mad at me. Isn't that right, Jasmine? Yeah. So letting go is the hardest. It really is. But that's what helps you get into alignment. If you are sitting back and you just say, okay, I'm going to let you just give me the street by street GPS as to where I need to go, Spirit, and we'll just go that way. That's the best that you can do. You know where you're going. You've put it in your GPS, your spiritual GPS. Now let Spirit guide you to get there. Don't second guess it. And I second guess the GPS. I mean, how many of us don't do that? Because I'll be like, why is GPS taking me that way? It's right over there. Well, I didn't know about the damn hell wreck that was on that street that I sat in traffic for an hour. So, stuff happens. Just occasionally, right? So put in your destination in your spiritual GPS, put in the outcome that you're looking for, whether it's with a relationship or a job or a home or a book you're writing or a painting you're doing or money you're trying to manifest in. Put that in and don't put any stipulations on it. Just say, I would like that. Maybe a certain time frame, if that's what you're looking for. I would like that by maybe this time, somewhere around this time. Go. And then follow your guidance. And it's so hard. It's so hard. Because again, when I'm like, tell me the guidance, tell me that I'm doing the right thing, tell me that I'm going in the right direction. And then I get in the car and they're like, go to the Target that's like 15 miles out of your way. What? Why? Go to the Target that's 15 miles out of your way. Okay. And then you get your answer that you're doing the right thing, that you're headed in the right direction, and the ticket that you need to keep going. the ticket that you needed to say, yes, I'm doing the right thing. I need to keep going. I know we get crazy stuff, don't we? And I still have it in one of my notebooks over here, one of my mini notebooks over here. I remember one time I was sitting in a doctor's office. I know a lot of you know my story that I've had like many miscarriages. But I was sitting in my doctor's office because I knew what was going on with my body, and I knew I was having another miscarriage, and I was so mad and I was so upset. And I walked in the doctor's office, and you know how you walk in the doctor's office and you sort of map out the area and you're like, okay, I want to sit there, you know, and I want to be there. And so I walked in, and I was looking around while the lady in front of me was signing in, and I was signing in like, you know, right behind her. And I'd already been like, okay, I'm going to sit there because I see a good magazine. I'm pissed off. I'm in a bad mood. I'm sad. I'm just, you know, got a lot of grief. I'm just dealing with stuff. And I signed in, I turned around, and somebody had already sat in that seat. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I was like, well, I'll just at least pick up the magazine. Oh, no, that heifer that sat down there took my damn magazine too. So then I was like, great. So I sat on the other side, you know, this was pre-COVID, long time ago. So I sat on the other side where, you know, beside somebody else, and I'm sitting there, and I just snatched up a magazine, and I was just like, you know, the least y'all could do is tell me that you're here with me, because I feel so alone, and I don't even see or feel y'all here with me. And I'm flipping through this magazine, and you know those little advertisements, those cardboard, like those card things that stick out, that was an advertisement? Well, I was flipping the pages of the magazine, and that cardboard thing stuck out, and I was like, oh, and I pulled it, and it came out of the magazine. And you know, those are usually hard to tear out. I pulled it, and it came out of the magazine, and I went, oh, and I looked at it, and it was a silver Hershey's Kiss that they were selling. And it was just an advertisement for a silver Hershey's Kiss that you could get, like, you could get personalized. And I looked at it for a second, and I realized it said my name on it. And it said for my granddaughter, Jennifer. And I just sat there, and I just started crying in the doctor's office. And of course, I'm in a doctor's office full of women. It was an OBGYN office. And, you know, several women are like throwing tissues at me and just go. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. And they were like, oh, honey, it's okay. You're going to be great. You're going to be great. But as soon as I saw that, and it was my grandmother's birthstone, and I was like, okay, thank you. And then I kept it. I kept it. I still have it. It's over here in one of those notebooks. I still have it. And I'm not even kidding. I keep it with me because sometimes, you know, I just need that visual. But that's when they redirected me. My spiritual GPS redirected me because I was going to sit in the wrong seat and pick up the wrong magazine. And they redirected me. They put something in my path to put me in the right position. They sent me to a target that was 15 miles out of my way. It's hard. It's so hard to listen to your intuition. It's so hard. I fight with my intuition. I argue with my guides. But ultimately, I've learned to give in. And I've learned that apparently, as a Virgo with Capricorn rising, that I don't know every damn thing. Now, isn't that a shame? Isn't that a shame that I don't know every damn thing? But if you're asking spirit questions, ask them to give you some kind of percentage. Ask them to give you a percentage. Because again, any of you that I have read for in that's in the chat, anybody that I've read for in the last 7 or 8 years, you can say, I don't give you 100%. I don't. Because there is no 100%. People change their minds too quickly. And yes, other people's choices have a direct effect on us. Other people's choices have a direct effect on us. Somebody changing their mind about which way they drive to work, somebody changing their mind about what supplements they're taking will have a direct effect on us. I don't give concretes, and I haven't for a long time. I only say the percentage that I see with spirit. 31%, that's a good idea. 31%, that's a good idea. What do you want to do? I mean, I don't get a lot of high percents, to be honest with you. A lot of my percentages are between 40 and maybe 64%. That's where a lot of it lies. And it swings really quickly. It'll change. And when I'm reading for somebody, I'll read for them like a few days later or a week later, and I'll be like, something's changed. You changed your mind about something, or they changed their mind about something. Something's changed. The percentage has changed. Ask your guides that. Put a percentage scale and put your pendulum over that. And then just say, okay, can you give me this number later on in the day so that I know that this is real? Can you show me that this is accurate? I'm not guessing. I'm not second guessing you. I'm second guessing me. Make sure you put that in the narrative. So spirit understands, and that you understand. You're not second guessing spirit. You're second guessing yourself, which is just as bad, to be honest with you. But at least you're not insulting your spirit guides, right? At least you're not insulting your creator. Or the managers that your creator sends to you. Okay, do you guys have any questions? This is a really difficult thing. This is a really difficult process of letting go. And I will tell you that I have actively been practicing letting go for over 20 years. I'm like, that's not the way I wanted that to happen. And they're like, you didn't say that's how you wanted it to happen. You said, this is what I want. Yeah, I know. They're very picky. They're worse than attorneys, to be honest with you. I mean, they will nitpick. Like, that's not what you said. Do you love that? All right, you guys. Y'all feeling good? If I find that card in the next couple of days, I'll post it on my website just for fun. I mean, I've been spending so much time on that damn website. Oh my gosh. But I feel like I'm making headway. Because I've got pictures taken of all of these pendants. And I bought a bunch of like inexpensive, just necklaces that I can give away with the pendants, because the pendants didn't come with necklaces. So Kelsey, yes, patience is a virtue. Not necessarily one of mine, but I know. I try really hard not to pray for patience, because that's criminal. It really is. Hey, Ashley Nicole, how are you doing? Oh my gosh, hadn't seen you in a minute. But I also got the pictures taken for the Herkimer diamond pendants. So they'll be on the website too. These pendants, not these earrings. I don't know. I got a bunch of stuff on there. I do have some pendulums that I'm posting. But yeah, I'm really excited about like getting these little inexpensive necklaces, because that way I can at least ship them out on, with the pendants, because I have so many. But the because I have some geode pendants too, But I just didn't want to send them out without something. And I typically wear a lot of silver, but y'all, I can't afford to put silver necklaces with all these pendants. Yeah, that would be expensive. That's hilarious, Kelsey. Trying. Yeah, I know. Trying to be patient and just be like, all right. But I'll tell you, things do move faster when you align yourself. Things do move faster when you let them lead you instead of you forcing things to happen. Instead of you saying, damn it, I said I wanted to win the lottery. I'm buying the tickets. I said, and I'm buying the tickets. I'm doing everything, and the whole time they're like, yeah, you don't need to be spending $50 a week buying lottery tickets. I don't care what the jackpot is. You don't need to be spending your money to buy lottery tickets. But it is fun to play, I gotta say. But when you're saying, I need a new car, I'm buying lottery tickets, that may not be how you get a new car. You have to look at it situationally. We need to talk, Kelsey. There's several people that I'm like, we need to talk. This in the chat. Diane, Kelsey, Joy, Alethea. I'm just saying. I'll throw you in that too, Ashley. But just listen to your guidance, okay? And it's hard. It's hard not to second guess yourself. That's when you ask and say, can you give me clear affirmation that I'm doing the right thing? Can you give me a clear indication that I am going in the right direction to get this, to be where I want to be? Crown chakra. Yes, you are. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to finish loading these videos. So hopefully they will all be loaded by midnight. Well, I don't know how long it's going to take, but I know, bandwidth. All right, you guys. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. Enjoy this new moon. The new moon energy is already out there. It really is. I've got water out there. Even though this new moon is square Uranus, and Uranus is trine Mars, which brings in some good stuff. But, I digress. I'm going to let y'all watch your zodiac signs for that. Or else we'll be here all night. I know. All right. Y'all have a great night. Enjoy the new moon. New moon in Leo. This is a fantastic. I'm excited about this moon. I'm not kidding. I'm loving it. Loving this energy. Because as I said on all the zodiac signs, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. That's what this new moon's about. Thank y'all so much. I love this group. Y'all are awesome. You're amazing. Thank you again to Carrie for allowing me to stream to the beautiful witch, La Hermosa Bruja. And make sure you guys check out her website as well. She has awesome, awesome, and amazing stuff. Yay. Yay. Who else do I feel sponsored by? Oh, Gypsy Soul Surfer. Yes, indeed. Thank you guys so much. I hope y'all have a wonderful night. And don't forget, get out there and make your magic. Bye, y'all.